Georgia Railroad. All right, time to learn Georgia Railroad, a great old-time tune. It was one recorded by the Skillet Lickers, named after my home state, so I am a fan. It's also a great tune. It's in the part of the Easy But Awesome tab series. So this is the arrangement that's part of that. So this is a Banjo level 2, and it's one of those songs that doesn't take too much fanciness to make it sound great, and you can get into a nice groove with it. You get into a nice groove and it sounds really good. So that's how it sounds. You don't have to play it that fast. I just kind of get excited when I play it. Again, the most important thing with these songs, the whole reason for these level 2 versions, level 1 versions, and the Easy But Awesome book is to illustrate the idea that it's so much more important just to play songs with good rhythm and timing, play a great melody with good rhythm and timing, and it's going to sound great. You don't have to get too complicated. That's really where all the work is, in getting to that point. It's not with doing super fancy stuff with your hands. All right, so we're in the key of G. If you were going to play this in a jam, the fiddle players will probably play it in A. So you would just capo up to the 2nd fret of your banjo and bring the 5th string up to A, either with a capo at the 2nd fret or a railroad spike, or just tuning it up. So we're going to play it in standard G. If you were to capo to 2nd fret, you'd be in standard A. So we're D on the 4th string, but you'd play it exactly the same way as I'm going to show you here. G on the 3rd, B on the 2nd, D on the 1st, and a G on the 5th. Okay, I'm going to move to the tab view here. All right, so now my head is gone, replaced by the tab. And again, I will use this blue box to show you where I'm at any point as I work through the tab. Okay? And let me situate here, so there we go. You got a good view. All right, so we're going to start just a pickup measure. So it's a hammer-on from the open 3rd to the 2nd fret of the 3rd. I use my index to do that. And then that brings us to the first full measure, where we're going to slide from that 2nd fret to the 4th fret, follow with a brush thumb. So that first measure, 2 slides there. Now we're going to do these little alternate string pull-offs. So open 2nd string starts it, and then we hammer onto the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And then play a brush thumb. And then we lift up, play the open 3rd, and hammer onto the 2nd fret of the 4th. And play a brush thumb. You can either lift your finger up to play that brush, or you can leave your finger down. They both sound good. That leaving it down kind of gives you a minor sound. So it's up to you. And then last measure here sounds like that. We're hammering on to a D, partial D shape, 2nd fret of the 3rd string with the index finger, 3rd fret of 2nd string with the ring finger. And we're going to start the measure by playing the open 3rd and then hammering on to that chord shape, which plays that 2nd fret melody note on the 3rd string, followed by a brush thumb, 3rd string again, followed by brush thumb. So everything at the top of the screen sounds like this. All right, moving on. Next measure. Keeping our fingers on that D major shape, we're going to hammer on from the 3rd string 2nd fret to the 4th fret of the 3rd string. I'm going to use my pinky to do that. Probably the most tricky part of this song, or this arrangement. And then you're going to play brush thumb, lift my pinky off, play that third string again, followed by brush thumb. So that whole measure. Now we go back to exactly the two measures we started with. So this one sounds like this. We already covered that one. We already covered this next one as well. Alright, and then this last measure sounds like this. It's going to start on the open third, followed with the brush thumb. And then a hammer on. We're going to play the open third and then hammer on to the second fret of the fourth. Play brush thumb. Okay, so that whole measure. Alright, everything at the top of the screen sounds like this. Now we're closing out the A part. We have the last measure of our first pass through the A part. We're going to hammer on from the open fourth to the second fret of the fourth, brush thumb, and then play the open third. Now if it's our first pass through the A, we're going to go through it again because this tune has two A parts. Or you play the A part twice, I should say. So you'd go back, that last two notes of this measure would be that same opening hammer on. So this whole measure would be... and then you'd go back to the beginning of the A part, which we've already covered. If you've played it a second time, you're going to end it this way. And again, you can see this in the tab. You have these two dots at the end of this measure that mean if there's a repeat, and it means, and if you see the full tab, you can't see it on this screen, but if you have the full tab in front of you, you'll see that above the first measure here, there's a 1, and above the second measure, there's a 2. That indicates that that's the first time through, and then 2 indicates the second time through. So the subtle change here, it starts out the same, that same hammer on and brush thumb, same open third, and then instead of that hammer on that opened the A part, we're just going to play a brush thumb to lead us into the B part. So this measure again sounds like this. And now we're into the B part. And that begins with the 5th fret of the first string, and then followed by the 4th. We're going to finger then the 4th fret of the first string and play a brush thumb. And then we're going to pull off 2nd fret to open on that first string, followed by brush thumb. So that whole measure. Alright, now the last measure you see here starts with another hammer on, open first to 2nd fret of first, release, play brush thumb, then pull off 3rd string 2nd fret to open 3rd, then brush thumb. So I'll just play the first two measures of the B part here again. You can hear, you can get this nice, real nice bum driving rhythm with this song because of if you keep this bum ditty going. You hear that? All right. Now we're gonna move to that partial D again. I like to hammer onto it again, same as we did before. Exactly the same as before. This measure is also exactly as before. So we have that hammer on with our pinky to the 4th fret of the 3rd string. Lift up, play 3rd fret again, followed by brush thumb. And now, we're back to how we started. This is exactly the same. So is this. So everything on this top of the screen we've already played, and it sounds like this. Now we're coming on the end. So have the open 3rd followed by brush thumb. We've done this before too. Now we're going to hammer on open 3rd to the 2nd fret of the 4th, followed by brush thumb. So that whole measure. All right. Now this last measure begins with the open 4th and then a hammer on to the 2nd fret, followed by brush thumb. And and then the open third. Now again, if it's our first time through, we see the double dots there, we're going to end with a brushed thumb and go back to the beginning of the B part. So that's what we do. And that's the first pass through. If it's our second time through, then we just end like this. And that open third string ends it for us. So that first measure and third measure sounds like this. Okay? That is Georgia Railroad. All right. So if you have any questions about this arrangement or how to play it or anything else in the Breakthrough Banjo course, just leave a comment in the virtual classroom, the comment box at the bottom. All right. I will see you in the next video.